Greetings, War Thunderers. This is Longshot with you again, with my take on flying the MiG-3-34 in arcade. This is an Era 2 plane sitting at a battle rating of just 2.3. Like the other MiG-3s, it's tiered down with the biplanes and turn fighters, yet like those MiG-3s, this too is a high-altitude interceptor. Historically, these planes were very difficult to fly, plus the Soviets didn't have much use for high-altitude fighters, hence the MiG-3s were discontinued in 1941. In War Thunder, however, they're a very powerful plane. And this MiG has much the same fight model as the other MiG-3s. The main difference here is the two nose-mounted 20mm ShVak cannon, which replaces the machine guns of the earlier models. I've turned X-ray on to show the armour, and there's nothing protecting the pilot from the front, which means that even if the engine blocks some shots, there's still a chance of him taking a round to the head. What we do have, however, is decent pylon protection from behind and underneath. Looking at the other components, I'm mostly interested in the fuel tanks. They're in the wings and under the pilot's seat, and present a small profile to gunfire from in front and behind, but are quite exposed if you take hits from above or beneath. The plane has 3 rows of spars in each wing, though whether that makes them stronger than planes with 2 spars is only something Gaijin could answer. During the glass wing phase in patch 1.41, this plane was particularly prone to losing wings. It was so bad, in fact, that I stopped flying it during that period, but since 1.45 its damage model is finally back to normal. Anyway, let's take a look at its handling in a test flight. As usual, I'll fly smoke and put the plane into a horizontal bank to perform my quick and dirty test of its turning abilities. I'm looking at whether the size of the turning circle, which is fairly large, is small enough for it to be a turn fighter, which it isn't, and whether it can catch up to its smoke trail, which it also can't. So in my opinion, it's not a plane you should look to dogfight with. There are plenty of other fighters around the 2.3 battle rating that will outturn this plane with ease. Rudder and elevator together shows that the rudder is much stronger, pulling the plane sharply to the side. With a powerful engine on the MiG, that means it's very good at performing climbing spirals. Look how tight the circle is now, how steeply it's able to maintain the climb. There are not many turn fighters capable of matching the MiG in this manoeuvre. If you get a turn fighter on your tail, this move is pretty much a get-out-of-jail-free card. It often sets up reversals when the other plane inevitably stalls. Its roll speed is average, not bad, not good. Oh, that's good enough. But how does it hold up at high speed? I'm going to go into a dive to find out. Still much the same. Starts to slow down getting past 500 kilometers an hour. Past 600 it's really getting a bit too slow to be usable in tracking targets. Next I'll test its vertical zoom climbability. By the way, I'm doing this not to suggest that you should climb this way in game. It's rather what I'm looking for is how much altitude it can recover, and therefore how far I'll risk diving in a boom and zoom attack. The bottom of the dive was 1800 meters, still going strong past 3500. In fact, it gains over 2 kilometers in the zoom climb. That's more than a P-38 can manage. I'll take it right up into a stall and perform a hammerhead turn with the rudder. I'm looking at the speed of the turn, which is fast, and also how controllable the plane is, easy for me to say, and I'm instantly able to direct where I want it to go. The plane will be very good at robo-dopes. Anyway, I've continued the dive to gain speed once more, so I can check its handling in response to mouse movements. Watch how the reticle behaves when I drag the mouse to the sides. Once past 600 kilometers an hour, it begins to loop up and over as the controls stiffen up, and this will make it hard to aim if your target is dodging. So I'd recommend keeping your attacks under 550 kilometers an hour. Now this is the typical height you'll be flying at in the domination game, around 1800 meters diving on targets at ground level. Watch the speed as I make this practice dive. It only reaches around 500 k's, and the manoeuvrability was excellent. So this has all the makings of a brilliant low-tier boom and zoomer. It's time, therefore, to take it to battle. I'll begin with flying it in a lineup that's averaged down to a rating of 2.0. That'll allow it to see biplane battles such as Ground Strike Stalingrad. My ammo belt is stealth, convergence doesn't matter. I'm running the minimum fuel load on this map, but on other maps I suggest 30 minutes, as the plane does tend to burn through it fairly quickly. To start with, no surprises here, I'm climbing. Just because it's a biplane map doesn't mean there won't be bombers or other pilots who've climbed. And an energy fighter needs height under its wings in order to run the boom and zoom attacks. The MiG climbs best at an airspeed of just 200 to 210 kilometers an hour. And with its powerful WEP, it is a very good climber indeed. This battle's unusual in that I recorded my commentary live while I flew the plane, rather than make a more considered narration afterwards. So I'll be quiet now and let myself speak. Right, so still continuing my climb. Got a few bombers up here. There's an SB2M, looks like he's diving. Another one higher up, and a Blenheim for good measure. Doesn't look like there's any... Oh yes, there is an A5M4 who seems to be climbing at me. And I'm going to ignore this Blenheim because the A5M's coming straight at me. That's not a plane I can manoeuvre with, but he wants to go head on, and I will gladly take that against a plane with a pair of pop guns compared to my 2 cannon. Right, so SB2M seems to be the natural target to transition to. Just going to drop down a little into a shallow yo-yo, then up. Not enough room to get a good angle from underneath though. Just hit him with a burst and then continue on past. And I'm pretty much out of cannon. Notice the nice self-fueling fuel tanks. Self-sealing fuel tanks on this plane. Had a beautiful shot at him there, but I had no cannon, so I'll just have to wait. Zigzag around and keep out of the reach of his dorsal gunner. But I can't let him run away from me too far. As I've dealt with this guy, providing there's no one else to take on up here, I'll drop down and start attacking the biplanes underneath. Okay, nice low yo-yo this time so I can get to him from underneath. So his gunner's not firing at me. And then quickly finish him off. Right, plenty of targets down there. Let's get into it. Just going to start off a dive and pick up whatever target of opportunity presents itself on the way. This F2A looks like he's a possible. No, he's banking off. I'm not going to try and follow him. I'm going a bit too fast. In fact, my IS is getting up close to 700. This Nimrod's nice and straight. He's not moving much, so that's an easy enough one to pick off. Okay, out to the other side. Reload. Gain some altitude back again. Just keep assessing what's going on. I want to get as high as 1600. Any higher and I'm probably going too fast to have as much control as I'd want. Any lower and I'm not going fast enough and people can pick me up. I should get a nice shot at this. Heinkel is turning nicely right into my guns. Okay, who can I continue on and hit? One of these guys, P-36. Yep. I-16 maybe. It's turning towards me. No, I didn't quite have the right angle. Perhaps I could have shot a bit earlier. Still, no one's taking any interest in me at all. Normally by now I'd have someone vainly trying to follow me as I'm in my zoom climb. Nevertheless, still got enough ammo for another run. It's not like these are all biplanes. There's Yak 1s flying around. There's I-16s can be problematic if you get one of them on you. Watching that Yak 1 pretty closely actually. And because I was watching him closely, I've got the wrong angle on this pea shooter. I should really have gotten that kill. Never mind. I'd rather be extending out toward the side of the battlefield rather than directly toward my own lines like this. Hey, the BB-1s are possible. No, he's got some people already on him. I'd rather a target that hasn't been picked up yet. P-36 there, straight in front. Oh, he's running away from me, so I'll get onto this Fury instead. Oh, you could have let me shoot you before you decided to crash. Right, I-15. Nope. My speed's now a bit too fast. A little bit of bobble, even though I wasn't quite at 600 k's then. Right, I'm just going to zoom climb up and spiral climb as I do so. Lets me look around. I'm a little bit low here, but my speed's still pretty good. I might just go straight back into the into attack again. The target count, ground target count that is under 10 now for both teams, so this map's not going to last a lot longer. I really need to step it up and get a move on. Pea shooter coming for a head on, thank you. Lag, you need to go if I can get a shot at you. Yep, nice and clean, good. That guy's too close. Hopefully this lag I can hit. Oh no, I don't want to head on with him. Pull out of that. Now I'm getting a bit risky. That was not high enough in that zoom climb. I've got a 110 closing in quickly. See if we can get this lag now. Good. Okay, now that's a better height at which to come back from. Only one target left on the enemy team, so game might end before I get another kill. I'm relying on my speed here. I know there's incoming enemies and I'm ignoring them. Just hoping to be so fast that no one can pick me up easily. There they all are. Managed to duck underneath them. There's another one. I'm just doing a flat turn but keeping the speed as high as I can. Don't want to head on with an ShVak. And that was how this battle ended. Enough with the seal clubbing, as this plane was capable of far more when you take it up to altitude in higher tier games. Watch how quick and efficient it is at destroying bombers. I'm taking this HSK on from the side, and then I'll duck underneath to avoid its cannon tail gunner. Set it alight, and that's usually enough to kill a HSK. Okay, the welly behind him. Turning back from a pass from above and the side. And that's 2 bombers down with a single belt of ammo. The plane should actually have 300 rounds instead of 200. Hopefully they'll fix that at some point. But even so, 200 is more than enough to get the job done. There's an F6F lurking around, but he's too far away to pose a threat right now, so I'll keep hunting bombers, beginning with a low yo-yo attack against this G4M1. Yes, I'm still clear. I can move on to the PBY. It's just too easy. The fun really begins though when altitude is contested by enemy fighters, as it was in this next game, where I also recorded my duration while flying the plane. This was a very tense battle. It really got the adrenaline pumping, and hopefully it conveys some of the excitement that comes from flying this plane in a BR range that is more appropriate to its capabilities. So just zoom climbing here at the start. Oh, sorry, not zoom climbing, just normal climbing. Keeping it around 210-ish, maybe up to 220. Which is its preferred climbing speed. And it's the WEP that makes it so powerful. That and the fact that its engine does not degrade at all the higher you go. Unlike so many Russian prop fighters which start to lose WEP performance at around even as low as 2,500 meters. This one just keeps strong all the way up to 7,000. And so once you get above 4,000 or so, its performance advantage over other high altitude planes really starts to show. There's a fair few of them that have climbed, so I'm just going off to the side and toward the sun. Got myself a bit fast there, so I better increase the angle a bit. Alright, so what have I got? A 109F and a P400, I think. Yep. Just keeping my angle of climb right. Just got to keep maintaining it. If I keep watching the... oh, I'm getting myself a bit slow. Sorry, this probably isn't making a lot of sense to people who are watching this if I put this in a video. So I'm just switching back and forth between maintaining my climb speed, adjusting my angle of climb, and watching what the enemies are doing. So it's 2 109s back there, and the 400, and a B5N2. I don't really need to worry about. That's just a target if I eventually get a shot at him. It's the 109 and the 400 that I'm concerned about, and neither of them have dived away. The second 109 seems to have done so. Right, I should be high enough above them I can turn back. Don't know that they've actually seen me because I was flying toward the sun. Let's see what they do. Just continue my climb. I'm just not 100% sure that I have quite enough altitude in the bank here. I don't want to be dogfighting those planes. I want to be able to boom and zoom them or get them to stall under me if they try to attack. Okay, 400 seems to be quite a threat. He's definitely coming straight at me. Let's see if he'll stall himself out. No. Seems like, yep, he's diving away. He had second thoughts. Have to keep an eye on him though. So it makes the 109 more of a target right now. Let's give him a pass. Hopefully he'll hold nice and still for me. Yep. Lined the wings up on him nicely, and twin ShVaks did the rest. So where's that 400? I don't think he's... yeah, looks like he's diving away now. Definitely diving away. I'll just keep an eye on him for a bit longer. Yep, he's not coming back. Right. So I've got that B5N2. Oh, there's a 190 in the distance. I think that was the same guy who was flying the other 109 earlier on, so he's respawned, if I'm right. But I've got a nice attack on this B5N2 if he holds still. It's funny, there's one of the most agile bombers in the game. So few people fly them that way. If he tried to scissor me, I wouldn't have had a hope. I would have had to have just zoomed on past. But the thing about the B5N2s is they can't take any damage whatsoever. Very fragile. Okay, so I've got this 190 to take care of. Got a nice altitude advantage on him. I had phenomenal long-running duel in a previous game, which unfortunately I didn't record, against a 190A4. Now this is a 2.3 rated plane against a 4.3, so you can get some idea of how that battle should turn out. But that duel went on for a good 5 minutes, and neither of us was able to get an advantage over the other. And he did what I'm scared this guy will do if I give him a chance. No luck today. These 190s can be very tough to kill. Just keeping my speed high, as I want to be able to stay with him and I don't want to get slow. If I slow down too much, then he can drop away beneath me, then come back up in a low yo-yo attack and fill the sky around me with 4 lots of 20mm cannon shells. I don't want to give him the room to do that. So I'm following him down. And that's losing me a fair bit of altitude. I've got to be careful here. I've got to know when to pull up. I'm closing in. I think he's pulling up into a climb. Yep. See if I can hit him now. Oh, come on. Where's hit registration when you need it? Ah, got his tail control. That's a relief. That's put me at 3,000 meters and I'm right over the enemy spawn, and they spawn at 2,000 meters. This is not a good place to be. I'm just going to spiral climb the plane. There's 190 down there who seems to be interested, and a P-39 as well. Just clawing for altitude as quickly as I can, and that's one of the good things about this plane, being able to climb at such a low speed. There's a lot of other planes you would not be able to do what I just did then. Okay, he stalled himself out nicely for me, thank you. Now hopefully I can get a bit of space climbing behind their spawn. See if I can get back up towards 4,000 meters. Hello, that, yep, 190's turned back. Pushing it right to the point of stall here. Okay, I've reached 4,000. And see if that 190 is close to stalling. He's turned away from me again. lost a little bit too much altitude there following him. See if I can make a pass now. This looks promising. Nope, he's turning at me. Get out of there. That, by the way, is why you should zoom in when you're making any kind of attacks. It's not just to aim, it's to see what the other guy's doing. Okay, he's tried to follow me up and now he has stalled. If I'm quick, I should be able to get a kill here. Zooming in again. Yep, good. Right, let's get out of there, get my breath back. Okay, at A5M4 is not a threat. B7A2 might be though. So I'm just going to ignore that A5M4 while I get my altitude back and reload. Okay. No, he's too low on me now. So where's that B7A2? Yep, definitely coming straight for me. Alright. Yep, okay, I'm going to do a climbing spiral, which is my go-to move against a B7A2. It works 9 times out of 10. The other times they see it coming in, they dive away. I've never been shot down by a B7A2 when I perform this manoeuvre, and that's why I think it's a joke when people say how good that plane is and why it should be substantially up-tiered up to 5.0 or something ridiculous. It cannot hang with an energy fighter. I don't care that it has a bomber spawn, it's a very average plane. And that's another one in the bag. Hello. I've let a 190 get too close, and that's the guy from before. And hit registration's failing me again with him. Yeah, that my aim was off. I'm way too low, 2,000 meters, this is bad. Okay, I need to dive and run. I'm blacked out, don't know where anyone is. Oh, someone behind me. Probably that guy. Okay, that was careless. I did not see him sneaking up while I attacked the B7A2, and that was my mistake. Okay, just running and dodging and weaving. Oh, there's a target of opportunity. Yep, that's the least I can do. I can't follow him, obviously. Okay, I've got at least one right on my tail. He's very close. And my speed was only, what, 400, 500-ish? I couldn't outrun him. So I just need to turn here and hope. Oh, there's a second one coming in. That's not good. Get beneath his guns. Come on, need some of those friendlies to come in and help out. Where are they when you need them? I'm over friendly skies. Another one coming in. Great. I think I've stirred up a bit of a hornet's nest while I was above their spawn. None of these guys can hang with me in a rudder turn though. Oh no. Okay, I'll cut in at this point as I let out a few words that wouldn't be appropriate for children. Now, despite my error of judgment, that eventually led to being shot down. That was one of the most enjoyable War Thunder battles I've had in quite a while. I regularly take this plane out in a 3.3 lineup, which is where I believe it belongs, and I'm having a lot of fun flying it there. In fact, looking at my stats, you can see that the MiG-3-34 is second on the list when ranked by enemy plane kills. This is one of my favourite planes in the game. That's why I decided to cover it in a video. You don't need a tutorial for flying it if you know the basics of boom and zooming and energy fighting. It's just such a really nice plane to fly. I hope I've done it justice and that you've enjoyed the vid. Until the next one, I'll see you in the skies.